Hi everyone, I just thought I'd make a quick video here. I'm not a professional videographer, so please ignore the stuttering and everything else that goes with an amateur video. So I was going to make a little video about some sprinkler system issues. I've been talking to some of the neighbors, helping them out. So I was going to go over my system for you so you can get an idea of what might be happening with yours. As everybody should know by now, in American Fork next year, our pressurized irrigation system, we're going to be charged by what we use, not just a flat rate anymore. So it's a good idea to start at your meter. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to walk you through some things. Hopefully this will help you out. So go out in front of your house. I'm on a corner lot, so mine's next to my neighbor here. There's the meter. Right next to it, you're going to see a shut-off valve, both critical things. So as far as seeing if it's got a leak, you'll want to open that up, make sure your system's not running, check the water meter, see if it's rotating in there, which it's digital, so just watch the number and see if it goes up. If it's not, you're in pretty good shape. But if you see movement and you see some use during that time, you're going to have a leak somewhere, especially if you think your sprinklers are off. And I've helped a few people out with that here recently, and we're going to figure that out. So this other thing you want to know, that's a shut-off valve. In there, in the wintertime, you're going to turn that off. And it's a stop and waste valve. You want to make sure you get it 100% closed or 100% open, because it has a hole in the side of that allows drainage of your system during the winter. So the next thing you want to do is go, most of you go straight into your yard and you're going to look for your valve box that looks like this. Inside here you're going to find a filter and a hand shut off. Now don't freak out because there's water in there. I just watered yesterday and my neighbor watered some extra because their lawn got behind, and so this happens. This is in a low spot in my yard, so it's kind of hard to see, but down in here there's the filter. You'll see a little orange handle on it, and then there's a red handled shut off. There's a filter in there you take out each year and get that cleaned up. So there's possible leaks there with that little orange shut off valve not being on or off all the way, depending on what you're doing. Okay, so in the valve box, some different things that can be happening in your system. If your main line isn't leaking, you could actually have these valves leaking. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to see water here in the valve box. What I mean by that is there's a diaphragm inside the valves that can stick open. That is more common on the valves that go out to the bubblers, which is this one here, and this is a filter on this valve, just like the main box I just showed you. So what you want to be careful of is that even though you don't see it, one of these valves in your system could actually be leaking, and there's various reasons why. Now, if you're having problems with your system and you're wondering why, like your timer is saying that the valve should come on, the valve's not coming on, wiring issues can be the problem, or this solenoid. You turn these to turn your valves on and off. Well, if you tighten these too much, it can actually cause a problem where it won't be able to actuate the valve if it's too tight. Okay, another thing that's going to happen in the spring, it's more common on the valve again that runs your bubblers, is there's on different valves, this is a little different, but there's this pressure control valve right there. And if that is pretty wound down pretty tight, it won't allow that diaphragm to move up and down. And what can happen is that valve, when it comes on in the spring, it'll open and it'll get stuck open. And so then your bubblers are sitting running for a long period of time. And sometimes you'll never catch it. Depends on the lay of your land, and if your water's running off or hiding somewhere or going down into a basement or something, you might not ever find out that's leaking for a period of time until it's too late. So I'm not going to go through every little thing, but if you want to reach out to me if you're having problems with your system or leaks, feel free to give me a call. I'm going to post this over on my YouTube channel. I'll probably do some follow-ups as I get some questions or comments from the other neighbors. I even have talked to some of the neighbors here recently who didn't even have their systems on correctly. They're newer homeowners, didn't know how to run their systems, their timers weren't on. They were actually turning the valve on and off manually. So if you need some help with your system, you want to know what's going on, let me know. So now that it's the end, so what are my credentials? Do I know what I'm talking about? Well, I hope so. I was a general contractor for a lot of years. We had rental properties, and so over the period of time, I had anywhere from 12 to 15 systems I was taking care of every summer for over 15 years. So I've also designed and installed systems. So if you're wondering kind of like how to set your timers, let me know. There's various things. There's 3 different programs you can have on most timers. So that can cause problems. You can be overwatering. You might have the sprinklers coming on at different times of the day and you're wondering why and you can't figure it out. Let me know. One other thing I'm going to mention really fast. I'm going to walk over to my timer here. And this is kind of can be a dangerous thing for some people. Is there's one thing you'll see on a lot of timers, and it's a problem, is it right here underneath your timer. Now mine isn't wrong, I fixed it, but it was when I got here. A lot of landscapers don't take the time to put that fitting on right there, you see, and so they just stuff the pipe up inside. Well, what happens is hornets like to get up in there and nest, so be very careful around your timers. If you ever walk up to your timer, kind of take a look at it before you go pop that thing open, especially if you're going to get into the wiring behind them. I found that out the hard way many years ago, and ever since I've always made sure to fix that if I ever find one of those and correct it. It's a pretty simple fix, except you have to unwire the timer. So have a great day, guys. Hopefully this will help out. Let me know. Reach out if you have questions. Thanks.